Things attractive men do without even thinking. So these are some of the things that attractive men are doing on a regular basis that if you ask them or brought it up, they might agree with you, but they probably wouldn't be able to know exactly what is the thing that makes them really attractive with women. They might just be like, it just works out for me, or, women just like me. I had a guy say that to me when I was younger. But if you break it down, these are actually some of the things that they really, really do. So the first one that attractive men do without even thinking is they talk to everyone. They talk to a lot more people than a guy who is considered unattractive or doesn't do as well with women. He might be physically attractive, but when it comes to success with women, when you compare him to a guy who actually does really well, he doesn't do nearly as well. Guys who do well with women talk to a lot of people, and they talk to like exponentially more people than guys who don't do well. I've seen this happen time and time again. If they're in line at the coffee shop, they're talking to the person behind them, the person in front of them, they're asking the barista how's their day going. They'll make random conversations with people on the street. I had a guy who I used to hang out with, evil Stifler. We used to go out and I would have to stop him from like talking to random people just for no reason. He would talk to everybody, okay? But he was especially like if a really attractive woman came up, he would focus more of his attention on that. That would be his game. But he was talking to and being friendly to pretty much everybody, which coincides nicely with number 2, which is they are generally happier, or they come across as happier and friendlier than other people. Guys who don't do well with women were generally seen as not as attractive. By the way, this is something that I had to deal with as well too, because I'm generally seen as a very angry person. And so guys who are seen as more attractive, they're generally seen as way more friendly. I remember there was a guy at my school, high school. He was the most popular kid in the school, and he barely knew me, but he was super friendly to me every single time we met. He remembered my name. He remembered all of these things about me. He was a really, really cool and friendly, positive guy. I was not a positive guy in high school. I was, like my face suggested, I was angry all the time. I didn't want to be in school. I was negative, and I suffer from, depressive mood states. So during that period of time, I was not attractive at all to him. It wasn't until later when I actually enjoyed being social, when I actually enjoyed going out, that things became so much easier. If you're a guy who's going out and doing a lot of things and you're just generally not enjoying yourself and you're not having a good time and you're always feeling negative and you wonder why women don't like you, it's probably because of that. You want to come across as a more positive and friendly person. Sounds like a really simple and obvious thing, but it's just something that not a lot of guys think about, when they're trying to improve this area of their life. Number 3, they know how to lead. So if you're a guy and you don't know how to lead, you can be positive, you can be, someone who talks to everybody, but if you're always going into other people's stuff, if you're always going into their thing, and you're not getting anybody to follow you, you're not someone who inspires leadership, then you probably won't be doing well with women. Every single guy who I know, he probably does this naturally, and when you bring it up, he might be like, oh yeah, I guess I do that, but naturally, he's going to lead. He's going to be like, yo, come in, let's do this, or like, let's go have fun over here, or, whatever. But he's getting people to come along and bringing them in to do fun things with him all the time. I saw this happen time and time again with every single guy who was good with women. They knew how to do this. And until I learned this, I was always going over and talking to people. And the more I talked in their area, the more I was following them and doing their thing, the more frustrated I got. But once I started to take a step back and say, hey, why don't you come over here and do what we're doing here? Then it started to flip. Now, obviously, you want to word it a little better than that. But the more you get people to follow you, the more you lead socially to fun or whatever it is, it could be in your career as well, too. The more you lead, the more attractive you are going to be. To women. Women cannot experience attraction while a guy is following them, okay? The attraction cannot build. It can only go down. If she is following you, attraction can build, though. But don't make the mistake of thinking that just by hanging around people all the time and just by talking to everybody and that alone is going to work. You have to actually lead in addition to this as well too. And you have to inspire people to want to follow you. So being a valuable person helps. But every single person who I know who is attractive to women does this without even having to think about it. Number 4, guys who are attractive have higher energy typically than guys who don't. I don't know a single low energy human being who like wakes up and doesn't want to do anything that is attractive to women. He might be attractive physically, but when they actually start dating him, they start to see his lethargy, they start to see him not doing stuff, and they get bored by it, or they're just like, okay, he's not going anywhere. Higher energy individuals are typically more successful than lower energy individuals, and higher energy individuals get more stuff done, they talk to more people, they inspire more people to follow them, they do all the things that we talked about above. So if you're a low energy person, work on getting your energy up. When I was first going out, I didn't have a lot of energy. I would get tired really, really quickly. Once I learned to start having fun while I was out, I could stay out all night. I could stay out all night, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing. I could do it because I was having a good time and I was looking forward to the next thing that we were going to do. Most people, when they go out and socialize, whether it's a social event during the daytime or a party at night, they get tired super quick because they're not familiar with these environments and they let their introversion take over and they need to recharge for weeks on end afterwards, okay? It's not a condition. You can't improve this. And number 5, they listen and check up on people. I know this sounds crazy because we always associate men who are just like naturally attractive as like sometimes they're assholes or sometimes they're just not like nice guys. In my experience, the men who are truly great with women, who are considered to be very, very attractive, that all women agree, they're actually quite kind. And some of the guys who I've noticed, they would do the extra thing that a lot of other guys would not do. And this is kind of funny. The first time I saw this was that guy who was one of the most popular kids in high school. He actually would check up on me as well too. We weren't even friends and he still checked up on me. That's how like personable and friendly this guy was. And I'm not saying you have to go to that extent where you're checking in on people that are acquaintances, but take an extra effort with the people in your life. How are you showing up for them? It doesn't just come from being that attractive guy to that girl who you think is really, really hot. Okay, it comes from how you treat the people around you. And women actually pick up on this really, really well when you go on a date with them, when you're introducing them to your friends. They see how those friends show up to you, and typically those friends will show up how you've shown up with them. And then if they don't, you got to get new friends. But pay attention to how you're showing up for other people because that really does matter. And every single guy who does this naturally and doesn't have to think about it, women are really, really into them. And the more they get to know this person, the more they tend to like them. Now, so those are the 5 things that I've had. There are more, but those are the most basic ones that I've seen. If you watch this video and you're like, dude, I have none of those things. I'm a low energy. I don't talk to people. I never lead. I'm not generally that friendly. I don't check up on other people as well too. I don't listen. Those kinds of qualities are something that you can build over time. I know because I did this. I'm a naturally really like unfriendly, very negative, kind of depressive, angry person. And it took time for me to develop the thing. The only thing that I am kind of naturally is I'm high energy. So I could apply myself and learn this stuff over time. So if you're a low energy person, there are other videos out there. One of them I think is on my channel, but there's plenty of other channels that talk about how to be more higher energy. So you can do all of this stuff. And this is stuff that I help my clients develop. This is stuff that I've developed in my own life. You can absolutely improve this, but it does take effort and it is going to take consistency because to build a habit, I'd say it takes at least 3 months of consistent effort, doing the right things. And so if you do that, you can start seeing some changes, probably a little bit longer if you want to keep them for the rest of your life. So that's how you be attractive without even thinking about it. If you're not natural, it's okay. I think most guys in today's day and age are not naturally attractive to women, so they have to learn it later on, okay? You go through this process, you'll be able to do it just fine. Thanks for watching, you guys. Good luck out there.